bit more? Okay. I'll make sure that
Okay.
yeah, I can. I didn't know how close I needed to be.
Yes.
We're ready.
Right.
Okay.
This one. We're going to give her
All right.
this.
Okay. What's up? It's good. I'll announce.
Okay.
Okay, everyone, we're getting ready to get started. Please start making your way to the seats. You ready, man? Okay, please welcome back Ms. Rathbun back to the stage to provide an overview of the DON strategic vision of the Information Security Vision 2.0.
Hey. Okay, hold on 1 second. I wrote myself some notes. Are we supposed to start at 10 or now? No. No? Pardon? Oh, 9:45, so we're late. Oh, forgive me. Okay. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking around for part 2, which I think will be segment 2 of the day. I think will be really interesting and really enlightening. We are going to talk about the Information Superiority Vision 2.0. I am not going to do most of the talking. Barry is going to bring our leaders who are driving the North Stars and roadmaps associated with Information Superiority Vision 2.0 up here and have a more in-depth conversation about the things that we really want to try to get done. But I wanted to talk a little bit about overarching. We talked a little bit about this at ABCA East, but now we're in the west side of the country, and we'll repeat some things maybe that you've already heard, and we'll talk about some new things. So ISV 2.0, it's about urgently solving mission problems, accelerating emerging technology, and getting better at the business of IT. I have to read that because I can never remember it. So that is what we're trying to do here. We are trying to bring together the Navy and Marine Corps where we can to have integrated approaches and strategies. That doesn't mean integrated systems all the time. We want to we really want to change the way we are treating this portfolio. IT, you heard from the leaders today, you heard from General Carter and Admiral Thomas, and then Leslie Beavers about really the criticality of this portfolio to the CNO and to the Commandant, and how important it is to the warfight to really treat this, the IT ecosystem, that's what I usually call it, as a strategic asset of the Department of Navy, from which a lot of really cool stuff can happen. I mean, moving information, data maneuverability, getting data to the sailor and the Marine at the edge, anywhere in the world, that's what we've got to be about. And we've got to do it in a way that is useful, is satisfactory to the customer, and that is operationally resilient and redundant, because all threats are on. Right? There is nothing, we cannot be single-threaded anywhere. We have to really build this ecosystem with forethought, and we have to be able to pivot and maneuver and move with agility in delivering capabilities and changing our approach at a moment's notice, because this portfolio is not going to sit still. It is not a ship. Ships also don't sit still, but they don't change as often as IT does. And so, again, this is a big partnership between the CIOs of the world, the acquisition community, the cyber operators, and industry partners. We have got to move in conjunction with each other and have really good plans, really good ConOps and architectures and capabilities that support those. So we're shifting focus. ISV 1.0, securely move information from anywhere to anywhere to gain decision advantage. That is our objective in 1.0. It is our objective in 2.0. We were modernize, innovate, defend with data and workforce as supporting actors. What we discovered over our 4 years of executing under ISV 1.0 is that data is not a supporting actor. The whole reason why we're here is data maneuverability, to get data where it needs to go and make it decision worthy. And so we elevated the importance of data, made it a pillar. We went from modernize to optimize. It says on this slide that innovate is in optimize, but innovate is everywhere. We need to be innovative continuously. We need to be thinking innovative thoughts. We need to foster a culture of innovation. And so it is really optimize is modernize, can't stop doing that, but also paying attention to technical debt, getting rid of things, really doing it effectively and efficiently, and simplifying our ecosystem. Secure is defend. What we discovered by secure is broader than defend. Defend is kind of the action at the end when we've already got something that we're operating with. Secure is making everything that we do from design forward secure, and then decide, which is where data went to, but decide really has 3 components. It is about preparing the data, and we talked a little bit about that with Leslie today. It's about connecting the data, which is really its relationship with the optimized pillar, and it's about using the data, which is leveraging all of the really great data analytics capabilities there are out there. And I'm going to say data analytics and not AI, because when we say AI today, everyone thinks LLM. AI is this giant thing, right? It's deep learning, it's natural language processing, it's neural networking, it's all of these things, data analytics. We got to have it. We got to be really good at it. We've got to have data-specific ecosystems that enable us to train data and move it to the tactical edge. Having data, decision-ready data at the tactical edge means rethinking really the entire architecture, as we talked about earlier today, of our transport layer, our compute and store layer, and our platform orchestration layer. And so those things go through my head when I hear LLM. And so when we were putting together ISV 2.0, we decided that decide needed to be its own pillar. If you can, I can go to the next slide because I'm in charge. Okay, so Information Superiority Vision 2.0, okay? Optimize, secure, decide. Optimize everything I just said, agile. I cannot read this slide. It is very small. If I do this, will it screw things up? I don't know what I did. Okay, so optimize, secure, decide. I'm not going to go through the details of what you're going to hear about in great detail, other than to say we're still all about modernizing our DON information environment and building it out as that strategic platform. Navy and Marine Corps will have their own versions. Sometimes we're going to share. We're going to focus on enterprise services. We have been focusing on enterprise services. We are going to, like I said, focus on getting rid of stuff and getting rid of our technical debt so that we can invest in more modern capabilities. It's a dance. You can't shut something off in IT until the other thing's ready to go. And so we have to figure out how to get really good at that dance. We have to get really, really good at working together on the vision, the architecture vision here, because came out of acquisition. I've worked a lot of places in the Department of Defense, in ops research and acquisition. The only place I haven't worked is personnel management, and I don't think I ever will. But what I've learned is that we're a very program-centric organization, DoD is. We talk about programs all the time. We don't talk about, even though the Joint Staff has a joint capability doctrine, and joint capabilities are how they talk .MLPF, we don't see that transition itself into resourcing and execution. Or we would think about the change management, the process changes, and the IT that's supporting all that together, or the systems that support that all together. We have to take that approach. We have to govern that way. We see this very necessary in the business system portfolio, the business mission area portfolio. We are not delivering the way we need to be because we don't focus on the holistic capability and hold the functional leader as accountable as we hold the acquisition community. And so we're really going to be driving some change there in partnership with a lot of people, but if we keep doing what we're doing, we're not going to get the results we're looking for. On the enterprise services front, really hard. Like, we are a community, our culture is, where the money lives, you buy your thing. And so programs will buy their own operating systems. They'll buy their own cloud, they'll buy their own ICAM solution. To get to zero trust, we cannot do that. We have to rethink what we do, and we have to have programs that deliver those things to other programs, if that makes sense to you. And so changing that culture is super hard. We're having some really great success in the ICAM arena. Our first enterprise service actually was an integrated modeling environment. What we've learned is it needs some work. We really have to expertly manage that thing so people want to use it. But it is the right approach, and I am very much an advocate, and will keep pushing to move more things to enterprise services. At a minimum, we should not be contracting for things 15 and 16 times. And so if you are an industry partner and you have more than one contract with the Department of Navy, come talk to us, because there should be probably an enterprise contracting agreement somewhere. And so I look to PEO Digital to kind of drive that with RDA, Procurement Center of Excellence, getting to a more deliberate approach about how we buy common capabilities that we use over and over again. And the last piece I'll hit on and optimize is cloud. I've had a love-hate relationship with cloud. I'm looking at Louis because he's had it with me for many years. We did it to ourselves. We did it in DevSecOps as well. DevSecOps platform software factories just because of the way we work, everybody went and got their own, built their own. And what we discovered in talking to our cyber operators is they don't have visibility into most of it. That's a bad idea, right? In this day and age where cybersecurity needs to be king and driving a lot of our behavior and our actions, having cloud, 1,000 flowers of cloud in 1,000 pots is not going to be sustainable, nor is it going to be secure the way it needs to be secure. So we are driving. Christina won the Rising Star Award today. She is leading the Neptune Program Office. The goal there is to get to a cloud architecture that is single cloud environments by type and by commercial brand, but not everybody needs their own cloud. They need access to cloud. And so changing that way we think, one, we have to be able to deliver cloud services that people want to use. That is going to be first and foremost. But once we get there, shutting down those cloud environments that exist throughout the departments. On the secure front, as I mentioned, cybersecurity should really be driving a lot of our architecture and a lot of what we do. Our focus, obviously, is move to zero trust. DoD has told us to get to zero trust on our networks by 2027. That is a huge uphill battle. We have a lot of networks. Here I'm going to bring in Optimize. We should be getting rid of networks. We should be flattening as much as possible. You heard me talk to Ms. Beavers about the future state is not networks by classification type. The future state is an ecosystem that supports all classified data with data level control. I can't do that today. A lot of smart people have to get involved in that theory of the world, but from a cybersecurity perspective, encrypting and data level control and knowing who's accessing your data, zero trust principles are the way to go. Scaling cyber ready. We have been working at cyber ready for the last 2.5 years. I am thrilled that we will be bringing a CISO on board very shortly so that they can take the reins here. We've got a lot of good efforts going on. We've got to drive faster. Cyber ready is about getting out of the compliance business and into secure and survivable by design from design forward. And so we've got pilots looking at how to automate tests. We've got pilots looking at how to risk manage. We've got pilots with our cyber community about rethinking what the AO's role is, especially the NAO's role. But to get to holistic cyber readiness, is not filling out a checklist and every 3 years getting another approval. It has to be earned, and your right to operate has to be earned every day, and you have to, you really have to be able to live that and change your processes to support that. We are very much partnered with the DIB, cybersecurity. Our goal is not to lose data. So we lose a lot of data through our defense industrial base, especially our smaller partners, driving to things like cloud as government furnished equipment, bringing people into our ecosystem to work when they can't afford their own cybersecurity. Those are real activities that we need to be piloting in the next couple of years and then making a regular part of how we do business. It is in our best interest to do that. And then finally, managing cybersecurity as a portfolio. This is one that I'm very passionate about. This is one that I have partnered with our principal cyber advisor on. And that is what we've also observed and learned is that cybersecurity is very much done at the tactical level by program in most cases. I will tell you that our flank speed platform and the Marine Corps' Hyperion platform are examples of where we're doing that at an enterprise level end to end. But what are those key processes and capabilities associated with cybersecurity? And then how do we architect processes and the data that's required to manage them, and then the solutions that are going to support them holistically? I have ships, I have combat weapon systems, I have aircraft, I have tanks. I don't have tanks. You guys don't have tanks anymore. Wrong service. Forget that. I have ground vehicles. How about that? I have radars. They all have to have cybersecurity protections. But some of them could probably, I have all of OT, operational technology, right? Some of them could probably have the same solution as another system, but the way we operate and the way we execute cybersecurity requirements is that we will never get to common solutions across mission enclaves because that's just not the way we think about it. So changing that way we think about cybersecurity and treating it as a cybersecurity portfolio to optimize our investments and really get the visibility that our cyber operators need across all of our ecosystem, not just our networks. And then finally decide, I talked a lot about this before, three kind of areas: prepare, connect, and use. And the use piece is huge, and there's a lot of opportunity for industry to help us shape that. And when I say use, I'm talking about the data analytics capabilities. We have a platform, and we see the value of Jupyter and making Jupyter, the data analytics platform, a service, but it needs work and it needs bolstering up, and we have time, money, and effort that needs to be put into that to make it sustainable and give the, it's very successful today. The people who are using it love it. People keep coming into it. We right now depend on the CDAO for a big chunk of that. That might not be the best idea for us going forward, so we're going to really be thinking through how we get there. And love our CDAO team. They're small, but they're mighty, and they're really innovative, and so I'm looking forward to the North Stars there and what gets executed. I'm going to come back to workforce, but I'm going to talk about, innovation. So the CTO team put together this, and along with PEO Digital, put together this model. We call it the Horizon model. And really the purpose of the Horizon model is to always be thinking about innovation. You got to have one eye on what you're delivering and sustaining and operating, and the other eye has got to be what's coming down the pike, what's the adversary doing to us, what is industry bringing that we might want to leverage, and how do we experiment with that pilot? We talked about piloting with Leslie today in a way that is beneficial to us. We talk about Horizon 3 as being the evaluation phase where we are looking at what people are providing. We're hopefully spending other people's money to do that. Justin Finelli is an expert at this, leading the charge, really thinking about, and it's not just systems and technology innovation, it's process innovation as well. And so where can we do things differently to seek the outcomes we're looking for, and then how can we adopt those and get those into our pipeline? In Horizon 2, we've decided that something in Horizon 3 has piqued our interest. Let's get more serious about piloting, leveraging it, scaling, seeing how we would scale it. And then Horizon 1 is obviously what we're doing today and how we bring things in and scale them and adopt them on a wide basis. I guess that's not a really great way of saying that, but my brain is just not triggering fast enough, not enough caffeine this morning. And then finally, Horizon Zero. This is that retiring. What can I get rid of? When industry comes to talk to me about me and or the PEOs or whoever you talk to about a new technology, and my CTO says this a lot, Justin, what's the business case for us? What can you get rid of for us? Know our business, know our mission use cases. We are interested in understanding what you have to bring to the table that will be game-changing, especially along the lines that we've talked about today, but also help us understand, well, what could we stop doing? All right, so innovation, critically important from this perspective. Also, just the kinds of people we recruit and want to work with us are just continuously thinking about, are never satisfied with how things are operating, continuously thinking about how we could innovate. My job as a leader is to make sure that they've got latitude, longitude to go and explore the art of the possible. We've got two great, Cyril, where's Cyril? What are Tomar and Kyle called?
Oh, our Nobel Scholars.
We have some Nobel scholars who were brought on just for that purpose, to rethink, think out of the box.
You're Nobel too. Nobel Reach.
Nobel Reach scholars, thank you. So I appreciate you all for the work that you're doing and helping us think about problems in new ways. We want to see people rotate in and out of our office that can come work on projects. We've got a reservist, Captain Boheit from Google, who's doing that right now, helping us out with specific projects. This is how we foster that culture of innovation, by circulating people, putting people in other roles, and to experience another side of the business and help to bring opportunity, creativity to our problem space. So the last piece is workforce. I talked a little bit about that with just the people that I mentioned here, but workforce is critical to all of this. When we talk about potentially changing our ecosystem away from network centricity to data centricity, that's a different type of workforce that's needed to do that, and a different set of skills, functions, and roles that would have to be in place to really live and breathe that dream. And so workforce and evolving workforce is critical. We have a Navy Marine Corps DON team that works in conjunction with DoD CIO on the cyber workforce, which is not, I hate the name cyber workforce because to me, I narrow that down to cyber, but we're really talking about IT ecosystem to include cyber. So experts, software engineering experts, data analytics experts, cyber experts, we need them all. My goal here and the team's goal is to really evolve our training and our readiness of that workforce and experience of that workforce, in addition to obviously recruiting and retaining. So that's kind of Information Superiority 2.0 from a big picture. I'm not going to delve into, again, all the things and ideas that the team has, but I really, again, see that this is team play. This is not something that we're going to do on our own. The Don CIO wrote the ISV 2.0, and you heard Admiral Thomas and General Carter talk about how they support it. They have their plans that nest underneath that. A lot of the things that we're going to guide and shape cannot be done by us, cannot be executed by us. They are going to require the partnership of the Navy and the Marine Corps, as well as other secretariat partners. Policies will be written, probably co-written mostly by acquisition and CIO, because who we need to have take action is our acquisition community for the most part. But this is where we're headed, and with that, I am done speaking, and if you've got any questions, if I have time, I can take some, and then go from there. And if we don't, then we just have more time for the other team. All right, you guys have a great rest of your day. This is going to be really interesting. I'm looking forward to all the conversations, and with that, I will turn it over to Mr. Barry Tanner.